We are live and we are talking about the K-1 visa. What is going on with K-1 visas right now? What is going on? What's going on with immigration? There are so many things happening, and I'm so excited that you're here to join me. I am Josh Goldstein, an immigration lawyer, your favorite immigration lawyer, hopefully, and I am here to answer all your questions. I am live on TikTok. I'm live on Facebook. I'm live in LinkedIn, YouTube. I'm live there too. I am live on X or Twitter. I'm live everywhere. Welcome to you all. We have so many cool people joining us today, and I'm really excited to answer your questions. Anissa's here. Welcome. Just got approved for his I-130. Says Jose Barboza, you die compa. Money on my mind is here. Welcome to you all. I'm very excited to answer your questions. We've yet to have our first question. So I wonder who'll be. Mohammed Alzam has joined us. Wonder if I said that right. Alzam? So I'm going to answer all your questions. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about the K-1 visa. If you have questions about K-1 visa, put them in the comments and let me know. I'm also drinking an iced tea, so I'm going to have enough caffeine to make this happen. So K-1 visas. There's something very important that you should know. I'm a skeptic of the K-1 visa. And there are lawyers who have debated this with me, and they've said, no, the K-1 visa is great. It's so much faster because you don't have to deal with the NVC. And, you know, in a general, this might possibly be true. But the reality is there are some disadvantages. And one of them is when it comes to the travel ban. Now, the travel ban is not relevant unless your fiance lives and is from one of the travel ban countries. So if you're from France or England, there's no travel ban there. So it doesn't matter. But if you're from Somalia or Afghanistan or one of the other countries on the travel ban, this is highly relevant. And that is the following. The spouse of a U.S. citizen is exempt from the travel ban. The spouse of a U.S. citizen is exempt from the travel ban. What that means is that if you're married, you don't have to think about the travel ban. But fiance visa is not. So bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. Questions about the fiance visa, let me know. Khalid Net says, I don't want to go to Somalia until 2050. I hear you. All right, I'm going to answer a question. David Chicas is here. I came with a visa, and my son will turn 21 in a few months. I work with a fake social with my name. Does that disqualify me from a green card? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And importantly, David said, I never said I'm a U.S. citizen. David, if you're listening and you need help, reach out to us. We can help you get a green card. And if he's turning 21 in a few months, now's the time to begin. My phone number is directly above what's left of my hair. Kyle says, I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Jen says, how long does the NVC take to schedule an interview after approval of everything? Spouse overseas in India? The answer is no one knows. Excuse me. An interview in Mumbai could take 6 months, could take a year, could take a year and a half to get scheduled. It's going to take a while. I'm going to go to Facebook and answer a question from Mohammed Alzam. Are you here, Mohammed? Let me know. Mohammed says, let's see here. He says, I have withholding of removal and a pending TPS. My ICE check-in is in 7 months. Can I work in another state? Am I allowed to keep 2 addresses, Virginia and another state? How should I handle this with ICE and USCIS? Okay, so if you have withholding of removal and you have an ICE check-in, the terms and conditions of that check-in govern whether you can move to another state. And you should talk to your lawyer and see what they say. Yawning again on the live. Maritza says, "What's new for DACA married to a U.S. citizen?" So, if you have DACA and you're trying to get a green card through marriage to a U.S. citizen, there are a few ways to do it. You can get advanced parole, travel in and out of the U.S., and then apply for adjustment of status. That's one way. You can also maybe there's a military parole in place. If your husband or wife or spouse is a military, active duty, or retired, there are a few different ways to do it. That'd be a good thing to reach out and have a consultation with us for. Zakia says, "What is the impact of the travel ban on the visa process for the spouse of a green card holder?" You cannot get a visa. The travel ban prevents the issuance of a visa to the spouse of a green card holder. So there's that. Katerina says, "Hey, Josh, what do you think about HR 875? You think it will be stalled?" Yes. HR 875. Everybody asks me about that every time I go live, and every time I say the same thing. There will never be a law. HR 875 will never be a law. And if I'm wrong, I'll go on here and apologize to everyone, but this is what I say. I believe this to be true. My Sudanese husband's I-130 got denied. Is it a good idea to bring him on a visa and overstay? I don't know about that one. Why was the I-130 denied? That would be one question. And the second question is, if the I-130 is denied and you can't get the I-130 approved, what are you going to do after he comes in and overstays? And how would he get a visa? Can you get a tourist visa from Sudan? I don't know. Here's a question for David says, "How much do I charge for my services?" We offer free consultations. Sometimes they're free, sometimes they're paid, but we would, in your case, offer a free consultation, and we could talk about it and find out a little more about your case, and then we can tell you if we can help you. We can tell you what the cost might be. I'm gonna go with glasses now. Do I look smarter? I don't know. I feel smarter. Lysandra, let's give it up for Lysandra. Her husband's military parole in place, finally approved after a year and 5 months. What's next? Lysandra, it's green card time. That's what's next. Green card time. And that means you should reach out to us and schedule a consultation. We can help you get a green card. You help your husband get a green card. How awesome is that? That's great. Sue, in my H-1B letter, the employer described an unpaid volunteer role as formal work. I didn't list the volunteer in my I-45 marriage green card. Could this be misrepresentation at your N-400? Maybe, yeah. Where is your location? Are you in California, says Maritza. Yes, I'm in downtown Los Angeles, 611 Wilshire Boulevard. We do consultations by phone and virtual through Zoom and Google Meets. Ian says, "How do I waive off my home rule restriction after returning back home after a J-1 visa?" So some J-1 visa holders, not all, but some of them, require you to go back to your home country for 2 years before you can get a work visa or a green card, and there's waivers for that. But Ian is, from the question, I'm assuming that he went back to his home country for 2 years, and now he's like, okay, what do I do? And the answer is you can apply for a visa, and if that visa is being considered 2 years after you've accumulated 2 years in the U.S., in your home country, you should be good to go. Faheen says father and mom's visa was rejected because of the travel ban. Dad and mom have Canadian green card. Okay. What's your question? Alex from YouTube says, hi, sir. Processing times for misrepresentation, extreme hardship, 212A6C. So you need a waiver. You need a waiver for misrepresentation. Those take a long time. I would say roughly off the top of my head, probably 3 years. Sue, do not stress. Sue, are you with me? Don't stress. Okay? Do a consultation with us. We can help you out. Okay? Ellie Olivia, this man wants 20,000 and doesn't even reply to emails. I hope she's not talking about me, because I do reply to my emails and I don't want 20,000. Lawyer, do you know if they're giving visas to Cuban nationals I-730? The I-730 is subject to a refugee ban. And there's a lawsuit right now called Pasita, and everything's stuck until that's resolved. Zakia on YouTube says, if the travel ban does impact the visa process for the spouse of a green card holder, then what can be the solution? I don't know that there is one other than naturalizing. Then you're no longer the spouse of a green card holder. You're the spouse of a U.S. citizen. Please, please, please like this live and share it with people, because if you do that, the algorithm will look favorably upon me and will share myself with. It'll share this with other people. Suddenly losing my words. Baby Yaga followed me. How about HR 875 DUI law, says Angel O. Sanchez. Don't have to worry about that. It's not going to pass. Megan says, how long should my I-130 take to get approval? I'm from the UK. Your I-130 is going to take 6 months to a year. Probably fast. It'll probably be on the shorter side of that. Zakia says, can I appeal to federal court? You can appeal to federal court, but if it's the travel ban, you're not going to win. Here is someone who says, can you please respond? What are the options? And I am like, Lysandra, is concurrent better than filing separate? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Lysandra, but I am happy that your husband has his military parole in place, and I'd love to help you get a green card. K-1 visas are still proceeding in Cuba, as I understand it. Let's see here. I don't know. So this is for John Tackett. I don't know. Cuba is subject to a partial travel ban, not the full travel ban. And I don't know off the top of my head whether that means that they'd issue the visa or not. Buttercup says, do you help with stuck family visa cases, Nairobi embassy? And the answer is yes, we do. Faheen says, please answer me. But now I have to find out what he needs an answer for. So maybe you could please. Okay, what are my choices? Because they want to come visit me and my kids. I'm a U.S. citizen. All right, Faheen. I don't know. Here's someone who says, I found Josh very honest and reasonable. Thank you. That's very kind. This is for Sinful Paki. Faheen, I need to hear your question again. I'm sorry. I know you. Shahid Zaman Khan, squash legend, has posted a comment with some clovers. Thank you, Shaheen. I hope you're well, brother. What a friendly guy. Dangerous weapon from Pakistan. Shahid Zamir Khan. Crushed. Who did he beat? All the greats. How long does it take to get your green card through marriage after you apply? Depends. The processing times are unpredictable, but it also depends on whether you're inside the U.S. or you're outside the U.S. Tavianda Finest Lifestyle. Me and my spouse went to the interview yesterday, and they asked, "What's my car payment?" And she roughly $700. I don't know what that question is. Need to inbox you privately. How do I do it? Okay, this is on TikTok. My email address is in my bio, so you can click on that and send me an email. Nairobi case. Snowlocks. I will be going to the interview next month. What are some questions I should expect? I don't know what kind of interview it is. Is it a naturalization interview? Here we have Tavian Finest. I said 250 because I paid 250 weekly and I never gave the monthly total. Melissa Perez, you should always carry. Should you always carry your work permit on you? And can you travel with parole in place? You should always carry your work permit with you, yes, because the Supreme Court said that racial profiling is legal. You can do it. So, Melissa Perez, if you look Latina, then they can arrest you, God forbid. And if you have your work permit, then presumably they would be happy with that, and they'd say, okay, now we can see what your status is. Can you travel with parole in place? Possibly, but I would need a lot more information before I could give you that advice. I wonder, why would you travel internationally with parole in place? If you have parole in place, you should be able to get a green card, no? Is it safe to travel domestically? I would need more information. I need to know, like, do you have a deportation order? Is there a warrant for your arrest? Are you a green card holder? Like, I need to know more details about your situation, right? Can I still get a K-1 visa for my fiance from Iran? No, you cannot. You got to get married and refile your case. Or travel ban gets lifted. But I don't think that's going to happen. I have a case that's like Kilmar Abrego Garcia, but is all cleared now. Can I apply for an N-400? Well, I need to know a lot more about your situation. I'm out of status, but I don't have a removal order. Is it safe to travel domestically? I mean, living in the United States as an undocumented immigrant is difficult. And there are lots of people in the U.S. who are undocumented. So I'm not quite sure what to say to you. It's a calculated risk. I don't think you should go to an airport. I don't think you should go near a border. But you have to live life, and you can't live here without ever traveling. So it's difficult. I'm going to an interview next month. What should I expect as a tourist? They're going to ask you where you work, where you live. Do you own real estate? Are you in school? Who are you going to visit? Where are you going to stay? And basically the whole point is to see, are you someone who's going to actually stay in the U.S., or are you going to return to your home country when your case is over? New live, know what? I've been in the math for 30 years. Is it safe to be here? I don't know what that means, math. Is my husband safe from being taken if he has a work permit and advanced parole? In general, I would say yes. Here's somebody, Nana Madosa. I'm an Italian citizen. Can I come and live in the U.S. and also work? Well, possibly, but that's a long conversation, right? All right. These are great questions. Here's Fahim. My dad's visa was rejected because of travel ban. They're from Iran and have Canadian green cards. And now Fahim's going to ask me what they can do. They can enjoy life in Canada until the travel ban is lifted. And I say that, it sounds cruel to say that, but I mean that with empathy. It's a horrible situation, but there's no workaround that I know of. I'm grateful that they have Canadian status. Med Zamora. My mom has a green card and she has blood cancer. I'm sorry to hear that. And she's doing her treatment. Can she come over here after 6 months? I'm not sure I understand that question. Your mother is outside the U.S. and wants to come back here. I'm not sure I know. Questions. Here's a question. Can I get married after 4 months if I divorce and marry again and apply for a green card right away? One of the common mistakes that I see in my immigration practice, and I see this all the time, are people who go through the divorce process and then they get remarried, but their divorce is not final and they thought it was final, but that's actually legally complicated and it depends on your state and so on. So all I would say is make absolutely 100% sure that your divorce is final. Don't make any assumptions. Go to court and get a final divorce decree and have this in your hand that you can touch before you get remarried, because otherwise it's a pain in the ass and it creates an issue. Untouchable 5-star. How long will it take to get an interview in Dubai after I documentarily qualify at the NVC spouse to the U.S.? The answer, few answers. Number 1, I don't know. Number 2, nobody knows. Number 3, the processing times are unpredictable. And then if you keep pressing me, I would say the interview could happen within a year of being documentarily qualified. Here's a question. Ibrahim Abdallah says, when is the 90-day travel ban review going to be announced? That's a great question. They never did do that, did they? I mean, we assume they're going to be just continuing it, but there was never any announcement. I'm an Italian citizen. Can I come live? Oh, you already answered that one. Amir Sragi. I'm a green card holder and abroad for 8 years. Can I enter the U.S.? It's still valid. You can try, but green card holders have to live in the U.S. and you haven't been here, so it's a tough one. Oh, I just got an email from Tavianda's Finest, a lifestyle. I'm going to follow you too because that looks like a cool account. I need more lifestyle accounts in my life, right? Work on my beauty routine and my I don't even know what she's all about, but I like it. Ibrahim Abdallah, should I give up my education because I'm a 2nd-year student? I don't know what you mean by that. Why would you give up your education? I need more information. If you have a green card and you're going to school outside the US, you should not do that. You should go to school in the US because of the travel ban. Huda says she has an IR1 case that's been in AP for 12 months. She says, can you help me? She can't afford the lawsuit. She says can't afford $8,000 lawsuit. Well, I don't charge $8,000. So we charge less than that. We do have payment plans. But before we even get to the cost, I need to know whether I can help you. And so we would offer you a free consultation. Ibrahim is Sudanese, born in Sudan, raised in Qatar. Brian from Facebook. Can my son, US citizen 25, petition for me, even though I married my wife after he turned 18? I think so. Yeah. How long is a green card processing in the US? I mean, it depends on the type of case you have. So it really, really depends. I need to know a lot more information. Keep these questions coming. Ibrahim Abdallah, you're on a full athletic scholarship. What sport do you play, Ibrahim? Are you a soccer player? Squash? Cutter, I would say squash. Based on your name, I would say you could be an amazing squash player. Brian said no. I'm not 100% sure on that, Brian. I gave you my answer, but I'm not. I'd have to kind of research that a bit. But now that you told me. Track and field, 800 meter, 400 meter. But are you outside the US and you can't get your visa because of a travel ban? If that's true, that would be very sad because I would like to live in a world where you could take advantage of your scholarship. I mean, maybe you could go to school in a couple of years. Midnight Whisperer, I missed my appointment with USC. My wife called. They said that they will reschedule us. I'm sorry about that. That's very unfortunate. Can we arrive in the U.S. on a tourist visa and change status near the end? American mom in Mali. No, that's not a good idea in general. It might be possible, but it's not a great idea. Here's Saw Hitke. So K-1 from banned countries should change to CR1. Yes. Yes. And that's very depressing news because a lot of people waited a long time to get their interviews and they went through this whole process. And now getting married means starting over. So I appreciate that. Petition I-130 for my husband who lives in Qatar and hasn't been approved yet. What can I do? I'm not really sure. How long has your K-1 visa been pending? How long has it been pending? Fines and Feels. Hi, I had an interview in July. Up to now, it says actively reviewing, no RFE. Should I be worried? I'd love to know more about your interview in July. Did they ask a lot of questions about your marriage? Angela Aguirre, hello from the state of Washington. Hello, and what's up? Yeah, Ibrahim Abdallah, I think that you're kind of stuck and you're not going to be able to get a student visa because of the travel ban. Because of Trump, I find myself often giving people very disappointing news nowadays. Lord have mercy. Yeah, it sucks. I didn't vote for Trump. I don't like any of this. um, Ibrahim Abdallah says, "Take it to God on the judgment day." I'm not a religious person. I don't understand that way of thinking, but I'm disappointed because it seems so profoundly unfair. Why should they? Why should someone from a specific country be not allowed to the U.S. just because they're from that country? To me, the foundation of our legal system is equality under the law, and it seems like a violation of equal protection or the basic concept of fairness. That's my non-religious lawyer perspective. Not that it matters, but I do find myself giving people a lot of bad news these days, a lot of disappointing news. Jalil Hashimi. I haven't received my wife's interview, her case at the NBC, and she's a Canadian citizen. I'm sorry, Jalil. I hope it comes through soon. Ahmed Omar. When I was coming to the U.S., I was single. Can I sponsor my spouse staying in Ethiopia? Yes, if you're a U.S. citizen, yes. Angela. Oh, she likes my glasses. Thanks. I have 3 pairs of glasses now. My lighting should be better because there's a reflection, but how long does it take? I'm a U.S. citizen. This is for Jalil Hashimi. Your wife is in Ethiopia. I would say 18 months. Thank you for your comment, Angela. You made my day. That's really kind of you. Bobo Gak. I have something to ask. I'm a U.S. citizen and I got married. We're waiting for the green card. That's awesome. But what's your question? My wife is in Canada, not Ethiopia. I'd still say 18 months. I hope I'm wrong and that it only takes 9 months. And then you come back on here and you're like, Josh, you're wrong. It only took 9 months and you said 18 months. But if I were betting, I would say 18. Beer, husband's case was in administrative processing since February, and now they gave him another interview in Islamabad. Sorry. Alex Mark, for an I-601 waiver, processing times and misrepresentation take 3 years, sir. If that's a question, I would say yes. It's going to take like 3 years. And I know how painful that is. Lenny, my significant other is in Nigeria and I'm a U.S. citizen. I will be in touch for a consultation soon. I look forward to it. Beer says, what do you think about it? And now I have to go back and find Beer's comment. Husband was in administrative. Another interview could be a good sign. It could be a good sign for the interview. Why not? It means that it's better than being stuck in administrative processing. So let's be positive about this. The Lionheart, I am F2A, so mom got her naturalization certificate. While I'm over 21, am I protected under the CSPA? I want the IR2. I don't know. I'd have to do the calculation, but typically the Child Status Protection Act fails to protect people. Is it okay to apply for a green card after asylum gets approved? Yes. Yes, it is. I like that. Legned man. I'm going to file my N648. Do I still need to file the N400? The N648 is, let me Google that. So the N648 is for a medical disability for the N400. So the N400 has English language test, has a civics test, and all this sort of thing. And the medical waiver, the N648, it says you can be exempt from this if you have medical condition that prevents you from being able to take and pass those tests. Here's the thing to know about the N648. USCIS thinks they are bullshit. They think that N648 is fake. So when you go to document it, you have to keep that in mind. You know, if you're trying to document a neurological condition, for example, don't get a letter from a family friend who's a doctor who doesn't really treat you. Get a letter from a neurologist who treats you. You know what I mean? Does that help? Is it safe to adjust under Trump if we overstay the B1, B2? I mean, that's something that you should consult with us about because it depends on a lot of factors. I'm yawning on live. Ebby K, best lawyer ever. Thank you. That's very kind of you. My renewal is delayed from Anacon. I'm sorry to hear that. Let me know what I can do to help. My sister won the American lottery. When she moved to America, she can't find her husband again. Sorry to hear that. Let's get some questions going. I think I lost you for a second. Here's a question from Sasha White. I applied for VAWA 9 months ago. I already submitted my I-45 with the previous I-130. I have a mistake on the I-45 with an incorrect date for when my husband and I were living. Will there be a denial for that mistake? Typically, that may not be something that you could be asked about it, but it seems like a minor mistake. I got arrested with my U.S. citizen spouse. Case dropped and withdrawn. I have to file an N-400. Any issues? Can you help? Yes, I can help. You have to document this and disclose it on the form. Those are important things. Hi, I just joined. This is from Omid. I'm a U.S. citizen and I want to bring my fiance to the U.S. What's the best option? If I were you, I would go to your home country or go to the country where your fiance is. First of all, congratulations on getting engaged. But I would go to that country and I would get married. And I would file for your spouse, not your fiance. But the other way to do it is a fiance visa. Hope that helps. I hope this helps.